Came in with the Asuri, and then C went on the Queen Nai. So we know C can do some goofy picks, and he has a deep legend pool. So I'm looking forward to what he's got here, because Lance, not in a great state right now, if you talk to many people out there, myself included.
Well, he might show you wrong, as right now he has that Lance, and he's starting to add up that damage onto Kyna. Kyna gonna catch him with that stomp down air into the neutral air as well.
And that's going to be the tough thing. When C is above Kyna, he doesn't have very many options whatsoever, because you can't even get like the bottom side of the neutral air the way you kind of used to be able to. Yeah,
you're going to see C try to force horizontal, whereas Kyna's going to be trying to force that vertical game, generally trying to be above or below C.
Now, the one thing that C will have that we've already seen so far is, like, if Kyna whiffs a D-line in front of him, expecting C to push forward, out comes the side light into the neutral air, and that's going to be like a solid amount of damage.
Both of them racking up that damage, Kyna chasing up there, hits him with the recovery, and decides to stand on stage for a moment, just realizing what he just did.
I was worried about the scoop potential. If Kyna came in maybe a little bit later and C saw him coming in, out comes the scoop, and all of a sudden you lose your stock out there when you were sort of on the offensive.
Back to the Lance, definitely the weapon that C is looking to use against Kyna right now as the weapon spawns and Kyna picks up the axe. A little bit of dash dancing here as C waiting for Kyna to come forward. It's a downer, was looking for the read there, but Kyna managed to get back down on the stage. All right, two-piece on the side of Kyna, looking for that follow-up neutral air. C's really good at playing around that.
So the Scarlet is going to be his 7th highest leveled legend. He has a level 60 Scarlet. Ooh, that's tough. And he eats that down signature. It was all the way on the left side of that down signature too, so it didn't send up like we saw that down signature previously when Kyna hit it. This time it went all the way to that left blast zone. Didn't really matter where it sent because we're on World's End. He was going to be done. Stomp side air. This high strength hammer potentially could set up. Great dodge to get through the weapon toss. Kyna's going to back up, really go for that weapon. Side light neutral air. It's going to be tough. And another neutral air coming out.
I really like how Kyna played that, jumped up, baited out that gravity cancel down light. Ooh.
Sick, dude. That was so cool. It's a shame that he ended up dropping that side air because that GCD light and with the movement right beforehand was so sick.
Listen to the dare. Two-piece. Kyna just adding up this damage now. Goes for a ground pound, and yeah, C's going to get that KO.
Flamingo Hammer rules, by the way. One of my favorite animals. So shout out to C on this one.
He do be from the sea.
Oh, and he's going to get caught with that. You saw the side light coming in. That's not going to lead to any major situation right away just off of the side light alone, but he came in with that down air. That ended up sending off the top. Are we going to get World's End? Okay, he's going to leave that open, and C is still sticking with this Scarlet. Demon Island, Fortress of Lions, and World's End were left open, and we're going back to World's End.
This is such an odd pick for C. And I'm realizing that Rupture is not legal, so I guess he was like, between Lance and Katars, I would rather have the Lance right now. Because, yeah, it feels odd for him to be on this Scarlet when he's very heavily leaning into Lance, which generally doesn't do that great into either of Terras's weapons.
He's doing a good job so far. He's doing a fantastic job of finding his way in. He's not really doing too much of the downlight, though a lot of Lance players are not downlight based unless you're going for like the Vrax option. Oh my gosh! He's eating so much damage. He's just like stray hits, and he eats the side sig as well. I can't believe I didn't KO here.
Not quite high enough for that neutral air to hit C. C hits him with the down air, but still so much damage being chunked off of Kyna, or off of C.
Now, we can't forget, like, obviously we always talk about how strong Teros is in his force stat, but we also got to think about there's a Scarlet on the field, so she hits very, 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 very hard as well. So when he gets those hits with a hammer, also with the Lance, like, he's chunking away. D-Light into the ground pound, the weapon toss, or the weapon pickup, excuse me. The D-Light's going to miss. There's the side sig from the middle of the stage. We saw Kyna's side sig not KO, and now we saw C's side sig not KO immediately, but can he turn this edge guard into a win opportunity on this first stock?
Great patience on the side of Kyna, stayed below that recovery. Starting to find more gravity cancel. Downlight off the recovery to lead to that neutral there. Kyna currently up 3 stocks to 1.
And Kyna is playing hammer completely differently against C. Oh, dude, the swagger! Double D-Light into the recovery for the KO off the top. But Kyna is playing his hammer completely differently into C than we saw him play into Use. This is like the more old school Kyna hammer where he's going all over the place. He's really playing like the crazy vertical game, mixing the horizontal and vertical, and not just coming in for like the simple stuff. Stomp into the recovery. Almost picked up the down air, but C stayed low. He was smart.
Yeah, you saw him chase dodge down, was maybe thinking about that recovery, but C was already out.
the damage output, the DPS that he has on Hammer, not just because Hammer is like a hard-hitting move, has high damage per hit, but the fact that it's just move after move after hit after hit after hit.
No side sig from C, goes for the gravity cancel, downlight. Both are playing off stage, he's sweating. And Kyna is going to get game number 2.
Kyna knew he had an entire other stock to play with until he was on his last one, so he was like, I'm just going to wait for my opportunity to get the recovery. I'll eat a couple hits here, I'll maneuver around the others, and I know that I'm going to find that recovery. That's why I'm staying below my opponent the entire time.
And C going to make the swap over to Cassidy now.
See, the second C dipped below him for just a second, Kyna was like, nope, 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 and he fast fell down to really get below.
And here's the Cassidy pick, not just purely for that mirror match earlier. He is playing the Cassidy now to go up against Kyna.
I mean, he seems to be a very successful Hammer player, so not a surprise that he wants to play this of the Hammer legends out there. She's definitely a really strong one. I love to see people like exploring the blaster side of things rather than just like the more gimmicky playstyle on the Hammer. You can lean into those gimmicks, but there's so much to this legend.
Well, we'll see if he can show it off as he does get that neutral signature, dodges through. Nice. Ooh. Chase is out there, hits the third C with the stock.
Kyna just had nothing to deal with that left to right pressure that C was putting out. Even catches that right when the iframe's in with the neutral signature. Hammer v Hammer now, neutral layer, gonna KO off the top. We're gonna see C come back in. Next weapon he's gonna grab is gonna be the blasters. We'll see if he wants to put any motion out on those or if it's just a placeholder until he can find, oh no, it was actually the Hammer, excuse me, he had that one prepped.
Yeah, his blaster's got no motion. He's all about the Hammer right now. Dashes into that neutral.
Had about his blasters. I want to say he just hasn't shown us the motion. Maybe he's got motion. He just hasn't shown us the motion yet.
Stomp and Sig on the side of C. Ooh, a little bit of a slowdown here.
Yeah. Ooh, the double side airs, the weapon toss too. Insult to injury, back over to the Hammer for Kyna.
Kind of just above that side Sig.
Yeah, I feel like some of this vertical gameplay is really getting to see. He doesn't have like a real control over the gravity cancel D-Light like Kyna does when he has the Hammer in his hands just yet, or at least he hasn't shown it to us. Oh, Kyna, you know Kyna was going to stay in the air after that. You can't come in with just a D-Light. You got to GC that. Got to get in the air.
Kyna, just a neutral light. Weapon toss connects, not going to KO just yet.
Neutral air. Oh, just a GC side light.
And chase dodge up for the down air follow up. The neutral light on Kyna's side will KO. Back to the Hammer.
So he's pressing forward. He still has iframes. Once you see it's starting to get towards the end of those, then he backs up, goes over. There's the stomp neutral sig. Just enough to KO off the top here on World's End.
Both of them on their final stocks, all fresh, no damage. C with that weapon advantage catches Kyna with that neutral signature.
C needs to not get chunked here. He's down 0-2 against Kyna. This is Elim's side. Winner of this is going to move on.
Ooh. Straight three-piece. C wasn't ready for it. Stomp neutral sig turns that around as well.
I stomp
another one.
Sig.
This is that gimmick.
He's got to be so careful about those grounded D-lights. He's got to change it up somehow. That time he did a GC side light. Stomp side air, sending off screen too this early.
Ooh, thought Kyna was going to go in, just throws out the neutral signature. Stomp going to be with Kyna. One hit away from getting this one in the bag.
It took everything for C to get back. He came in with the unarmed downer. He has the weapon here, and it's going to be the unarmed kit from Kyna, just barely picking up and sending off the top, and that is a 3-0 from Kyna, ending C's amazing run today with a bronze medal, well placing what anybody would have expected, maybe anybody other than C and the real diehard C fans out there. So congratulations to C for that bronze medal here in the Winter Championship of the South American 1v1.
Incredible performance on the side of C.